If your parents were baby boomers, then I'm here to tell you that they set you up to fucking fail in life. How do you know if your parents were baby boomers? Well, if your parents were born between the years of 1946 and 1964, then they're baby boomers. Most baby boomer parents, and I will not say all, but a vast majority of baby boomers are highly narcissistic and sociopathic. Which means if you were abused by your baby boomer mother or father, 9 times out of 10, they tried to fucking cripple you all throughout your childhood to set you up to prevent you from leaving them. They want to stay codependent and enmeshed with their adult children to prevent their adult children from escaping and doing better than them. Toxic baby boomer parents are jealous and envious of their successful children. If the baby boomer parent does not have a close relationship with their adult child and their adult child turns out to be successful, that baby boomer parent will not acknowledge their adult child's success. They want a piece of your success because they're narcissistic and they want to be able to capitalize off of it and have bragging rights. Not because they're fucking proud of you, but more so it makes them look good. It makes them look like they did all the hard work to make you successful. Baby boomer parents were not real parents. They may have provided financially, food, clothing, shelter, which is the bare fucking minimum. And they'll try to make their children feel guilty because they did the bare fucking minimum. But it is their financial obligation to provide the bare fucking minimum, or else they'll go to fuck to jail. But they'll guilt trip their children and tell them that's love, and it's not love. Most of us who were born from baby boomer parents had to take care of ourselves. Me being a Gen Xer, I had to learn survival skills as a young child into my teenage years, taking care of my siblings, cooking meals, helping contribute financially. You know, I had part-time jobs. That's because baby boomer parents are fucking emotionally disconnected from their children. And if they choose you to be the scapegoat child, you will be treated like a fucking slave. Let's just say if you get a disability check or an inheritance, tax return, your parents will take all of it. They feel entitled to it. Or like me, if you grew up in a violent household where your fucking parents, your baby boomer parents, were fist fighting all the goddamn time and they traumatize their fucking children, when you become an adult, they will blame you, the adult child, for having PTSD. They cause the motherfucking PTSD. They traumatize their children and then get mad when their children cut them off because they continue to traumatize their children when they become adults. I'll give y'all an example. My mother right now is going around telling everybody that I'm mentally ill, and I have always been mentally ill as a child. And I had to fucking laugh at this shit. If I had mental illness as a child, why was I not ever informed? Where is my doctor report, the evaluation report? Where is my diagnosis? This is how I trip my mother up. Because she could never fucking come for me. Let me tell y'all something. The debate will be shut down when I get through with her. I would shine a spotlight on her ignorant ass. I would embarrass her so fucking bad for the ignorant shit that comes out of her fucking mouth. Baby boomer parents will create mental illness in their children and then weaponize the mental illness against them as they become adults. Let me give y'all an example. My mother right now is going around telling everybody that I am mentally ill right now, and I always have been as a child. So, you know, what's so funny about this blanketed statement is she has not come up with a specific diagnosis. All she says is mentally ill. She throws the word mentally ill around. Well, if I was mentally ill as a child, what did you and my father do about it? Where is the paperwork, the school reports from the teachers? Where is the evaluation from the pediatric psychologist? What exactly is my diagnosis? How was the mental illness caused? Is it hereditary? Have you and my father been evaluated to see if it's a hereditary issue? The answer to all that is no. No, no, no. They fucking failed as parents when it came to my mental health. Yet my mental health is constantly used against me. This is very common with baby boomer parents. I hear this all the time from adults who were raised by toxic, narcissistic baby boomer parents. As a 40-plus-year-old woman, I am just now learning that I have autism. I've been walking around undiagnosed my entire life with autism because mommy and daddy failed to take the teacher's suggestion. When I was in early elementary school, my teachers told them to get me evaluated. They suggested that I get evaluated. My teachers saw the early signs of autism, and my mother, with her prideful, arrogant, egotistical ass, said, "Ain't nobody putting labels on my child. My child will grow out of it." She sure did. This is typical behavior of baby boomer parents. They never cared to get their children evaluated for ADHD, autism, because they're too worried about being embarrassed and humiliated. What will people think about me? I'm going to look like a terrible mother if my child has a disability. I don't want people knowing my child has a disability. It's going to make me look like a bad parent. So a lot of us went undiagnosed and we suffered. We had family members that teased us and made fun of our autistic traits, our behaviors. We're walking around undiagnosed. So family is bullying and teasing us. The kids in school are bullying and teasing us, all because mom and dad were too prideful to get us evaluated. So now that we're adults and we're figuring this out, 1 + 1 is 2. Let me go to the therapist. Let me go to the psychologist and see what they say. Let me get a professional's opinion, a mental health professional. Since mom and dad throw the mental illness word around, they accuse me of being mentally ill. They won't be specific. They didn't do their job as parents to get me evaluated. Now that I'm an adult and I'm going to take accountability, let me walk my ass up into a therapist's office and get myself assessed. Well, come to find out, the therapist, the psychologist, across the board, they said you have PTSD. Not just regular PTSD, you have CPTSD, which is complex post-traumatic stress disorder, as a result of the child abuse and the violence that you witnessed from your parents. And the fact that your parents caused you such trauma, eating disorders. You know, when children are exposed to violence in the household, children, that gives them chronic anxiety, chronic illness of the body. I have lymphedema. I've always had bad, very big thighs because my body stored trauma and cortisol. I had lymphedema and I never knew that as a result of being around the violence in the household of my parents. Let's not forget the long-term nightmares. And for those of you that have been molested, which I was, we got trauma from the sexual molestation, but your baby boomer parents will not acknowledge that. But they can go around and call you mentally ill. So guess what? Go see a mental health professional and let that mental health professional tell you to stay the fuck away from the people that caused you trauma. That's right. That psychologist and therapist is going to tell you to cut off your baby boomer parents because they're abusive and you cannot heal and have a relationship with the same person that caused you the trauma. Now your parents, your baby boomer parents, are going to get pissed off because you're taking the advice of your mental health professional. But they're the ones that called you mentally ill to begin with. Now they're mad that you're doing something about your mental illness. Baby boomer parents are a fucking disease and a cancer, and they will destroy you if you don't get away from them permanently.